Look, it is time to hear from the people who will be representing you next year, both off the field and on it. So it's a great privilege to welcome to the stage the three coaches here today, Sir John Kirwan, Grant Doorey and Mick, if they can make their way up. And also representing the players, veteran Anthony Boric and newbie Marty McKenzie. So come on up, fellas. JK, I know you love a mic, but I'm going to get you to hand that to Grant because we've seen Mick with the All Blacks. We know JK, but Grant, you're new to the region, obviously new to the franchise. So how on earth did you get this job?
I think when you dream about rugby and you dream about coaching at the top level, the Blues is one of those places. So when JK gave me the call a couple of months ago, I was absolutely ecstatic and excited about the opportunity to coach in New Zealand, which is the mecca for all rugby people. So I see great opportunity and excitement in this role. And when JK gave me the call, I had no hesitation in taking it.
That's a great answer. Don't know where your accent's from. Sounds Southland to me. Speaking of Southland, Marty, it's great to have you up here, mate. Always enjoy coming down and seeing the Southland boys. But what a moment for you. Just tell a few of the folks here what you've been doing, what's happened in your rugby career so far, and why you think you got the nod to come to the Blues.
So my second year out of school, I schooled at Christ College in Christchurch, and then shifted back down to Southland. Started last year and played my second year of ITM Cup this year with Southland. We struggled a little bit, but I think we'll be back on the horse next year. And got the call from it was Nick Shepherd just after I got back from New Zealand Under-20s this year, and everything gradually went on from there. And pretty happy with the decision I made, and looking forward to a pretty exciting season next year.
Have you driven on the motorway yet?
Nah, I think I need a GPS.
It'll happen. It'll happen. JK, I've got a question here from Dennis, no last name, but Dennis wanted this question in, so hand it to me late. And I know you've probably covered a little bit of this, but what makes the Blues stand out from other New Zealand Super Rugby teams?
Oh, I just think it's the greatest region in the world. I think we stand out because we are Pacifica. We are quintessential modern New Zealand. We have Samoan-born players in the team. We have New Zealand-born Samoans. We have both Tongan-born and born here and in Tonga. We've got Fijians. We've got Pa'alangis. We've got everything. And that is Auckland. You walk down the street and we have the greatest melting pot of different cultures that there is. And that's what makes us special, I think. Most important thing for us is that we represent that. And, I was in a meeting the other day and I said, all those that were born in Auckland put up their hands. So if we can do that in the room, there you go. But we are all Blues supporters and we are all from this region. And Auckland and this region is the hardest region in the world. A lot of people come to it and it's tough, it's hard, and you need to be great to succeed. And so I think that's what the Blues stand for. We need to be great to succeed because that represents our region.
Thanks, JK. Mick, you've, fashioned a coaching career being very technical, being very skill-oriented. There's a question here from Sam McLeod. Where's Sam? Sam in the room? He's only 6, so... Hi, Sam. Now, question. Sam has asked, and I think this is a good question for you, are you good enough as a coach to help me make me a Blues player? Come on up, Sam. Yay!
Hey, Sam.
Mick's gonna talk to you. You want to come sit next to Mick here? Here we go.
All right. How old are you?
6.
6. So I've got 10 years.
You said 6, Mick.
Yeah, 6. So I've got 10 years. I think I can, Sam. What position's your favourite position?
10.
Oh, of course it is. That's just my favourite position as well, and I think we can work together over the next few years and we can make that dream come true. How's that?
Good.
Good, man.
Well done, Sam McLeod. Your folks be after a Rugby First membership. You're at private school. They've got the cash. Bob Drummond here said, where are you, Bob? Bob Drummond? Bob, stand up. This is why you played for the Harwood High School third 15. Bob wants to know if you need his contact details, JK. Are you good for second fives?
Yeah, don't need you, sorry.
Lincoln Burns has asked a good program here, and AB, I reckon you can answer this. You've been around this franchise a long time, but as a senior player, what do you think you have to do in terms of programs to reignite interest in the game at the grassroots level here in the Auckland region?
Good question. I suppose get out there amongst the community. Go to we've spoken about potentially going out to club trainings, being a part of that. I've actually this year I've been injured a bit, so had a chance to go back to my old club and take part in a few line-out sessions and give a little bit what little advice I have, and just I guess getting back out there amongst the community and being a part of it and trying to give back, because we realise how important we are to the community and how much it means to them when we come out and try and give a bit of input.
Mate, while you're there, how are your injuries? Because, career threatening and you're still here wearing the tie, so I've got to say you've done pretty well to get over those. Talk us through your fitness at the moment.
Fitness is good. The neck's feeling pretty good. I can actually turn it, so quite happy about that. The true test will be next year, trying to make a tackle. I might get one of the halfbacks to run at me first up just to make sure, and then build up slowly. But it's feeling really good, so pretty positive.
It's good to know, AB. Grant, I want you to grab the mic here because a question for coaches from Robert Thompson. How do you prepare these young men, in particular the debutants, to face some of the best players in the world week after week?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a key challenge for us with a young squad. First of all, we're going to look at improving them across a whole range of areas. We need to sit down with the players and get them aware of what we see as their major work-ons. And physically, they'll have those physically, technically. And we'll be doing everything we can every day to make sure that when they walk out onto the field, they're confident, their skill set's where it's at, physically they're where it's at, and they're being prepared to play, so they are confident when they walk on that field so they can do their best for the Blues.
I've got to say, mate, Darren Lockyer called. He wants his voice back. It's remarkable.
I've been told it's sexy.
Not surprised. I've got a great question here for you, JK, from Jay Mangle. I hope I've pronounced your name. Mrs. Mangle from Neighbours. Jay Mangle, or Mangal. When we win, how do you propose to celebrate?
Oh, for about 3 days. I think I dreamed when I was a young kid of being an All Black, and that dream came true, and I feel very fortunate every day because of that. And when I took this job, I dreamed of winning, so it'll be a dream come true.
Perfect, mate. Marty McKenzie, you take the mic off coach here, because as a young guy coming through, you won't be shy of having some input in the position you play. It's such a key in Super Rugby and sparking that counter-attack and knowing what's going on. So from a strategic point of view, what do you know about Blues Rugby and what do you think the key is heading into the new season?
From what I've watched and from the years, I like to play a bit of attacking rugby, so I don't think JK and all the coaching staff will be holding my back, which is a good thing. So letting the players do what they want on the field to a certain extent, and I know showing all their ability and their excitement out there. So yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Get people through the gates, you think?
I think it will. It'll be exciting.
Good man. Sam Curtis here has been a member since 2004, and Mick, I'll throw this one to you. What two different things will we see in the Blues for 2013? And don't say Bryne and Doorey.
Well, I think what as you work through the Blues, going on what JK said at the start, and I don't know if it's different, but what you'll see is the players committed to each other, and the work rate will be stepped up for us around the field. We'll be seeing I've already mentioned to a few of our forwards they're in for a tough year. They're going to have to work really, really hard to get this young back line alight and give the ball to them and get them fired up. So we're going to have a really hard-working forward pack. And I think also you'll see a lot of enthusiasm around from the young players. And really all you can ask from young players is to bring that energy and that enthusiasm. And a few of the older heads have got to steer that ship around the field. So I think next year you'll see a lot of enthusiasm out there from a lot of young and exciting players, and some older heads will be guiding them well around the park.
Big job for you to do with the forwards here, and in terms of getting them technically right for this competition.
I think it's a big job in any environment to get the forwards right, because the way the game's played now, that without the ball, and we've seen it in the recent last 3 weeks. So there's been some big games for all of us in this room, and without the forward pack doing their job, it's pretty hard to play good football.
Hawkeye Min has asked a question here, JK, maybe this one for you. Positions in the side and looking through the team, it is a young teamer. Are there positions where injuries could really hurt you in this squad that you've selected?
No, not really. We've spent a lot of time making sure that the side's complete. Like I said, 33 to 37 will be named in the next couple of weeks. On purpose, we've gone out. Last year there was 40 players used, so there's a high attrition rate for all the players. It's a pretty physical, fast game now. So for us, we've tried to cover every position. We've picked players that can obviously be specialists in their position, but also cover other positions. So that was one of the key points about selection. Make sure that if we do get an injury, then we'll be able to cover it. And it was pretty simple what we did. We wrote our top side down as it was day one, then the second team if all those were injured, and then the third team if all those were injured. So it's a pretty hard process, and you've got to juggle things around, but we've come out with what I think is a very, very complete team.
Must have been tough, mate. I know you've spoken a lot about selections and that process, and we know how complicated it is and how convoluted it is. It must be almost relief now that you've got these boys in place and you can get on the field and start working with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it. I couldn't believe it. I walked into this strategy that I wasn't ready for and realised very quickly that it's part of success is getting that right. So, there's a bit of smoke and mirrors, and you're talking to the other coaches and they're telling you half the stuff and you're telling them half, and it's really interesting, and you're all chasing often similar types of talent. So it was really intriguing. It's hard work. I think one of the negatives for me is I didn't have a real understanding of all the players because I've been away 11 years. So that just means sitting in front of a computer and watching videos. It was great having Mick and Graham who know the players, and then obviously Grunt and I just had to spend a lot of time watching video, and Grunt certainly took up that slack for me. Looked at a lot of videos because we're very similar on our selection process. So it was fantastic fun. It's exciting, and yesterday we're jumping up. We're in this little office with the video going, and we're all linked into the other franchises. And we managed to secure a couple of guys at the last minute. We're jumping up in the office, and it was just a great feeling. It's part of the competition started. I think the most important thing for us as three coaches here, and Sir Graham certainly mentioned it to us the other day, is that we're going to be really excited about this, but it's a long season. We need to make sure that. And Wally over there, if you want to stand up here, Wally. This is our.
He is.
This is our new head coach. Stand up, Wally. There you go, mate. So Wally's said to us that he wants the first few weeks before Christmas, and we've said no way. Yeah, but fitness is a real big part of it. It's difficult for these young guys nowadays. It's a hard tournament, and we have very limited time. So Wally, before Christmas, we'll be spending a lot of time making sure we get them physically right. And then after Christmas, it'll be a combination of that through to the first practice game. We'll probably be a little bit underdone in the practice games, but I don't think there's any cups for pre-season, is there, Andy? I don't think it doesn't matter if you win those, so we'll probably be a little bit underdone for that, so we can target our first three games. We've got a neat competition because we can have mini comps, so we've got first three games, then a week off. So, it's exciting times, and we just need to make sure we pace ourselves and make sure we hit the ground running.
JK, I would say Wally Rifle, ladies and gentlemen, was with the Chiefs and Waikato, and Wally was their fitness trainer last year on their way to the Super Rugby title. So he comes to the Blues on the back of what was a wonderful season. And if you want to get fit, he's your man. He's failed with me, but with all the players he's worked with, he's looked pretty good. So it's great to have him with the Blues this year, and I'm sure you'll see him on the sideline getting pretty excited as well. Grant, here's a question for you, mate. What rule changes would you like to see to clarify the tackle ball situation? We've got an hour and a half. Go.
I think all the best brains in the world of rugby can't work that out at the moment, so I'm not going to try and tackle that. I think anything that opens the game up, we're all for. So if we can just get some clarity and some understanding about what each referee is going to look for each week, it'll really help us as a group of coaches and a group of players. So we'll just be trying to control what we can control. We'll have a chat to the referee every week and trying to make sure that our players are clear around one or two things that he might be looking for on that day. And then we can tackle the challenges and often the perception that comes into that breakdown area. Because I think when you look at the breakdown, there's 18 immediate errors or penalties you can give away in that first sort of second. So he's got a lot to work on. So we can help him with that and control that as a big part of the game. We'll be looking to do that every week.
Perfect, boys. AB, one for you, mate. You've been in this franchise for a long, long time, and you've seen players come and you've seen them go, and you've said goodbye to a few coming into the 2013 season. What is it as a senior player, and I'm sure you'll be a big part of the leadership group of this team, what is it that you need to instill quickly with the new boys in the side?
I guess standards early. It's important we do the little things right. I'm sure with these young guys coming in, they're going to be really enthusiastic and excited about this season and this new environment. So it shouldn't be too difficult. But I guess trying to lead by example, and that just comes with playing well on the field and at trainings and just doing the little things well.
Thanks, AB. And I'm going to have the final question today from Alyssa. Is Alyssa here? Ilisa, aged 11. Aaliyah? Sorry, Aaliyah's here. And Aaliyah would like to know, and this is a very clever question for an 11-year-old, John Kirwan, what are your realistic goals for this season?
I just want you guys to be proud of us. I think it's going to be a roller coaster. I think we've got a young team, very hard when you're young to get that experience. All of us want to win, that's a given. All you want to win, we want to win, that's a given. All these guys here, the whole team want to win. We want to be heading towards the playoffs, making you people proud. You'll see it out there and you'll feel it, and you'll understand if we lose, we've honestly lost, and you'll be proud of us. So if we can finish the season and we're knocking on the door or making the playoffs, I think that'd be a realistic goal. But it's going to be a roller coaster. So like I said before, fasten the seatbelts, we're going to have a lot of fun. And if you can walk away being proud when we lose, then that's a huge, huge success for us, because we only just would have lost. But to finish, I've never lost, ever. I might lose the odd game, but I've never lost. So when we lose, we'll get up on the Sunday and we'll just work a little bit harder. So thanks for your support. I'd like to thank the sponsors as well. Without your efforts and support, we wouldn't be sitting up here. We work for the sponsors and we work for you people. Buy your season tickets, talk to your neighbours, fill the stadium, because we're going to need your help to get us over the line in those tight games. And I've played out here when it's full, and no one will like coming here, and that's what we need to achieve. This needs to be our fortress, so we need your help. Thank you.
Now we have a few Blues bucket hats. It's almost like giving away the first jerseys of the season. So just as a prize for some of you, you've written down some questions. I'd ask you to come up on stage and the coach will hand you a hat. I think there's a mini ball in there as well. But Lizzie Brandon, if you can come up. Sam Curtis, if you can come up. Jay Mangill, or Mangill. Lincoln Burns. Bob Drummond. Sam McLeod, and Aaliyah.
Come and shake everyone's hand. It's like getting a jersey. Did you get one of these? There you go. Put the hat on. Got to wear those to school now. Tell the teacher I said so. Did you get one of those? There you go. Not yet. Well, you haven't been selected, you only get the hat. Come on, Paul. Okay, thank you. Did you get a hat? Good job, thank you.
Cheers, boys. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our things. I'd like to thank Grant, AB, Sir John Kirwan, Marty McKenzie and Mick Byrne. These are just 5 of the men who are going to lead the Blues in 2013. We wish them all the very best. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Blues management and the Blues team for 2013 for coming today. I'd like to wish you a very nice day at work if you're heading that way. And as both Sir John and Grant have mentioned today, do come and support this team. They are your team. We are New Zealand's biggest city, and we deserve to have New Zealand's biggest crowds. And I think with your help and the help of your family and friends, we can make Eden Park a fortress once again for the Blues. So have a great day. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thanks to the boys, and thanks to you for coming. Cheers.